Survivor Redemption Island premiered on February 11, 2011, as 60 new players would embark on a new Survivor journey, as it would be up to them to help Russell or Rob win Survivor. Okay, maybe not exactly, but I can't blame anyone for feeling that way. But yes, these 16 players were indeed surprised by the return of Russell and Rob, as the deal they made at the Heroes vs. Villains reunion show was now a reality. And not only would these two duke it out against each other as captains with a bunch of newbies, but there was one more twist this season, with that being the season's theme, Redemption Island. Yes, as unfathomable of a twist as it was at the time, the players voted out would not be voted out of the game, but they will be sent to Redemption Island to battle it out for a chance back in the game. So yeah, not exactly the most appetizing season on paper, but let's see how it plays out, shall we? The season's premiere is actually pretty fun, as Rob warned Philip of a female alliance, only for Philip to join up with two females in Christina and Francesca, which put these three at the bottom, as the rest of Ometepe absolutely adored Rob. Luckily for the trio, Christina was able to find Ometepe's idol. On Zapotera, Russell made his usual early alliance with the pretty girls in Stephanie and Christa. However, Zapotera were not nearly as fond of Russell as Ometepe was of Rob, putting him in trouble early on. At a combined immunity and reward challenge, Zapotera won, sending Ometepe to the first tribal council of Redemption Island. Christina told Philip and Francesca to campaign for her so that all the votes from the majority would come her way. Thus, she could play the idol, and their 3 votes could take out Rob. Rob, who was obviously getting PTSD from Heroes vs. Villains, begged the majority 6 to split their votes on Christina and Francesca, just in case. At a wild tribal council, the minority trio alliance imploded when Philip called Christina and Francesca out, after they said Rob wasn't their target.
I mean, like if Boston Rob got voted out tonight, which he's not going to, but if he did, he would probably be fine.
Francesca and Christina asked me to cast my vote for Rob.
Christina, did I ask him to vote for Rob?
Excuse me.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Excuse me.
You are a crazy person.
I just heard something different. And so my vote tonight will be for Francesca.
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 So all of a sudden, instead of a potential big play from the minority, they were now all against each other, with Philip flipping his vote to Francesca, and Francesca and Christina now voting for Philip. The majority 6 stuck with their original split on Francesca and Christina, and due to Philip's vote for Francesca, she was sent to Redemption Island in a 4-3-2 vote.
Francesca, the tribe has spoken.
After Philip felt betrayed by his alliance, he pledged his loyalty to Rob. Little did he know, he was now the easy vote for the majority, as nobody could stand Philip, and his antics at Tribal proved he couldn't be trustworthy. But luckily for Philip, the target started to shift towards a potential power couple in Matt and Andrea, as obviously Rob knew firsthand just how powerful a showmance could be on Survivor. On Zapotera, Russell and his alliance looked for the idol, but Ralph of all people would be the one to accidentally stumble upon it, thus leaving Russell without his secret weapon. The two would get into an argument later on over who had the idol, after Russell got caught looking for it, with Russell doing his usual scare tactics on Ralph. At the immunity challenge, Zapotera once again won, and after the challenge, Matt would shake hands with multiple members of Zapotera, infuriating Rob, and thus, this made Matt the target over Andrea. Rob then put his plan into motion, as he not only wanted to blindside Matt, but he also wanted to get the idol out of Christina. So he essentially had the tribe ghost Christina all day, giving her no choice but to feel vulnerable, and didn't tell Philip anything but to play it cool at Tribal, as Rob promised him he was safe. And at Tribal, everything played out to perfection. As Christina wasted her idol, Philip played it up as if he was going home, thus making Andrea and Matt believe that the split vote was indeed happening, only for the two to be completely blindsided, as Rob, Ashley, Natalie, and Grant put their majority 4 votes onto Matt, stunning him, and sending him to Redemption Island.
Matt, the tribe has spoken.
After Philip followed Rob's plan at Tribal, he brought him into the majority alliance over Andrea, while also reassuring things with Andrea. And while Andrea could no longer fully trust Rob, she knew she had no choice but to side with him and the majority alliance to save herself. Matt and Francesca then competed in the first ever Redemption Island duel, and it was neck and neck. But ultimately, Matt would be the one to pull through, officially eliminating Francesca.
Opening the locks! Matt has the 3rd lock open! Matt stays alive!
On Zapotera, Russell's alliance couldn't find the idol, so the majority alliance on Zapotera agreed to throw the challenge to get rid of him. The only person who wasn't down for this was Julie, as she felt the last thing Zapotera should do was give Ometepe any sort of momentum, but at the immunity challenge, Zapotera went through with the plan, giving Ometepe a much needed victory. Not only did they win immunity, but they also won reward, with Rob finding a clue to a new immunity idol. The majority 6 agreed to split their votes on Russell and Stephanie, while Russell, Stephanie, and Christa identified that Julie wasn't as locked into the majority, and thus, her joining up with the trio to vote for Ralph would take him out in a 4-3-2 vote. But in the end, Julie stuck with the majority 6, and on the revote, for the first time in his Survivor career, Russell was voted out.
Third person voted out of Survivor Redemption Island. Russell. That's 4, that's enough. Need to bring me your torch.
I'll be back and be ready.
I'll be ready.
Russell, the tribe has spoken.
After nearly going home, Ralph showed his alliance to the idol to build trust and relieve some tension on where the idol was. At the Redemption Island duel, Russell was super confident, but Matt would pull off the upset, officially eliminating the iconic Russell, but in true Russell fashion, he left his mark on the season before he left.
This is it.
Russell would not show us the hidden clue where the idol was hidden. I'd already found it in 15 seconds at the game. He got competition on his hands now.
Listen to him talking. Show me the idol.
Don't do this, don't do this.
I faked you.
He faked me. He's telling you everything he has right now. Take him out. It'll be
You took
easy.
his word, I show you
Look how
one.
easy it's going to be. Now, if their tribe wins, they take out these dummies, more power to me.
You can drop your buff in the fire on your way out.
See you, Russ. See you later, man.
Bye, Russ.
Take care, Russ.
The tribe. After bonding at Redemption Island, Philip campaigned for Christina to stay, but this proved costly, as this officially put Philip back on the bottom along with Christina. Zapotera got back to their winning ways at the immunity challenge, sending Ometepe to tribal. While Philip was once again proven to be untrustworthy, Rob saw Christina as the much bigger long-term threat, and campaigned for the majority to split the votes on the two, with Christina as the main target. However, the girls of Ometepe simply could not stand Philip and wanted him gone instead, as they questioned how much longer they could keep on living with him. At tribal, both Philip and Christina realized they were on the chopping block and voted for each other, and in the end, Rob's plan came to fruition once again, as Christina was sent to Redemption Island in a 4-3 vote.
Christina, the tribe has spoken.
Despite surviving tribal, Philip knew he was next on the chopping block, as there was nobody else in front of him now. At the Redemption Island duel, in a battle of two great competitors, Matt would once again be the one to come out on top. A couple of interesting things happened here at the duel, as Matt told Rob and Grant that he would be loyal to Ometepe at the merge, and he wanted a final 3 with them, while Christa and Stephanie made it clear that they had no allegiance to Zapotera. At the immunity challenge, Ometepe won immunity and a pastry feast, and in the jar of coffee, Rob and Grant found a clue to the idol. Wanting to keep his idol a secret, Rob gave Grant his original idol clue, making him think that this was indeed the first clue to the idol, while hiding the second one away as secret. With Stephanie and Christa on the chopping block, the majority ultimately decided on Christa, sending her to Redemption Island to duel it out against Matt.
Christa, the tribe has spoken.
After receiving the votes from Stephanie and Christa, Steve approached Stephanie as to why, with Stephanie saying it was because he was the weakest link on Zapotera, obviously pissing off the former NFL player. At the duel, Matt won his 4th challenge in a row, which officially broke up the Stephanie and Christa duo for good. With Christa gone, Stephanie was desperate, but a break came her way as Sarita began to annoy the tribe, so Stephanie tried to make amends with Steve, but he questioned her motives. On Ometepe, Philip and the girls got into a heated argument, forcing Rob to take over to keep the tribe from fracturing, and this would work, as Ometepe would win their 2nd straight immunity challenge, along with reward. And once again, Grant and Rob would find a clue to the idol, but were caught by Philip, causing him to distrust the two. Despite Stephanie appearing like a goner, Sarita's antics combined with her physical weakness compared to Stephanie made her the target in the eyes of David, who campaigned hard for his alliance to take her out, even voting with Stephanie at tribal. But in the end, the rest of the majority stood by Sarita, taking out Stephanie in a 5-2 vote.
Stephanie, the tribe has spoken.
The feud between Sarita and David continued after tribal, while Philip, who now didn't even have Rob as an ally, looked to the Book of 5 Rings to bring him power within the tribe. Seriously, how the hell did Survivor find this man? Matt dominated Stephanie at the duel, officially giving Ometepe the numbers for the first time all season. However, Rob was scared that Philip was an easy flip come the merge, while Zapotera feared David was also a possible flipper, after he was the only one to vote with Stephanie at tribal. Ometepe would win the 3rd straight immunity, sending Zapotera to the final Premier's Tribal Council of the season. Rob would once again find a clue, but literally threw into a volcano, as it was meaningless. Zapotera had to decide between the obvious strength in David in case of another crucial immunity challenge, or loyalty in Sarita. In the end, they felt they had to keep tribe strength, and thus, Sarita was sent to Redemption Island in a 4-2 vote.
Sarita, the tribe has spoken.
Bye, guys.
At the Redemption Island duel, everyone on Zapotera and Ometepe came to watch, as the winner of this challenge would come back into the game. Despite an injured foot, Matt was able to outlast Sarita in the narrow foot standing challenge, and after he won, Jeff announced to the final 12 that the tribes were now merged, but Redemption Island was still in play. Down in the number 7-5, Zapotera obviously saw Matt as a swing vote, and when they learned about his partnership with Andrea, they had hope that they could pull in the two, with Mike even offering Matt a Final Four deal. After not being in the actual game for nearly 2 weeks, it's safe to say this was a lot to handle for Matt right out the gate, as he was stuck in the middle and debated on what to do. At the immunity challenge, Natalie won, guaranteeing her safety at this merge vote. Matt decided to stick with Rob and Ometepe, and told Rob everything, which included him to eventually vote Rob out. That proved to Rob that Matt had not learned his lesson and could not be trusted, and thus plotted with the Ometepe 6 to put their votes onto him, as this would not only take out an untrusted swing vote, but they wouldn't have to worry about a potential idle play from the Zapoteras idling out an Ometepe. And at Tribal, Rob's plan once again worked to perfection, as Ralph played his idol on Mike, as the Zapoteras figured the Ometepes would vote for him for being a physical threat and playing the hardest during the merge. With the Zapoteras putting their 5 votes on Grant, and Matt putting his lone vote on Steve, the person he thought the Ometepes were voting for, this gave the Ometepe 6 the majority to blindside Matt once again, sending him right back to Redemption Island in a 6-5-1 vote.
8th person voted out of Survivor Redemption Island. Matt, need to bring me your torch.
Let the fireworks begin.
Matt, once again, the tribe has spoken.
The next 3 episodes is some of the worst stretch of Survivor in the show's history, so I'll quickly sum it all up. Zapotera desperately tried to find someone to flip to their side, but Rob wasn't going to let anyone flip on him, as he implants the buddy system, literally having his alliance spy on conversations and come back to him with what was said. We then got an ugly fight between Philip and Steve regarding race, which then made Philip a possible target for the Zapoteras, with the minority stating that they should take him out simply for everyone else's sanity. However, Rob wasn't going to let that happen either, as he knew Philip would be a goat and wanted to sit by him at the final tribal council. So with the Ometepe 6 standing strong, the Zapoteras were picked off for 5 tribals in a row, and all of them were beaten by Matt at Redemption Island, with Mike being the only one to survive along with him. So we resumed this season with the Ometepe 6 now having to turn on each other, with Matt, Mike, Steve, and Ralph, the last 2 Zapoteras to be eliminated on Redemption Island. Rob would win the final 6 immunity challenge, putting him in an even more powerful position, as he was in full control of the tribe, still had his idol, and now was adding to his resume, as that was his 2nd immunity win. Philip continued to literally play to be a final tribal council goat, but the girls weren't as keen on taking him to the end as Rob was. However, at Tribal, Andrea, who was still the odd one out of the group since the Matt blindside, was the first of the Ometepes to be eliminated, as she was sent to Redemption Island in a unanimous vote.
Andrea, the tribe has spoken.
After her blindside, Andrea and Matt got into it, as Matt was of course upset that Andrea flipped on him at the merge, while Andrea felt that Matt's terrible gameplay caused her to be on the bottom of Ometepe. Speaking of Ometepe, the pecking order wasn't as clear now, as Grant, Ashley, Natalie, and Rob had voted together all game, and with Philip being an easy goat for everyone, now was the time for the core 4 to start turning on each other. At the duel, Ralph blew a huge lead, meaning Andrea, Matt, and Mike would all make it to the final Redemption Island duel of the season. Back at camp, Rob made Ashley next on his hit list, feeling she was the biggest jury threat left, and Ashley felt this right away, and campaigned to Rob to go after Grant, as he was the only challenge threat that could stop him. However, Rob went back to Grant and told him that Ashley had turned on him, which brought the two closer, while also making a final 3 deal with Natalie, in hopes that would steer her away from Ashley. But all of Rob's hard work went to the wayside when Ashley won immunity, and thus, with really no other choice, Rob got rid of the next biggest threat in Grant, sending him to Redemption Island in a 4-1 vote.
Grant, the tribe has spoken. Grab your torch, head to Redemption Island.
Now, while Rob basically had the game locked up at this point, there's no question Ashley was a much bigger threat than Natalie and Philip, and desperately needed her gone, and campaigned to the two that Ashley was indeed a massive jury threat, while Philip was down for this. So there you have it, guys, Survivor Redemption Island in 17 minutes. Let me know in the comments below if you think this is a bottom 5 season, or if it's better than people give it credit for, along with how you feel about Boston Rob as a winner. Be sure to subscribe and like if you enjoy these retrospectives, and until next time, have a good one, guys.